First, I want to say thank you for having me this opportunity to speak before you. And I want to greet you on behalf of my boss, Mayor Bowser. My name is Lamont Carey. I'm the Executive Director of the Mayor's Office on Return to Citizens Affairs. So how I got here, and I'll tell you about the work that we do. But first, I want to say this past year we served 5,205 individuals. And for and I have a very small team, but I heard a lot tonight that we don't self-medicate. And those 5,205 individuals that we see, that is what we connect them to, right? Our population is coming from prison. They are not, majority of them are not working, so they don't have private insurance. And I just encourage you to consider how you can begin to take individuals that have Medicaid, because we have tons of them. And so how I got here, almost feel like the young lady that was saying she lived in a small town with one stop sign. I lived in a community in Southeast DC where my father was on heroin and my mother was an alcoholic. And that at a young age, like 9, I couldn't wait to make decisions for myself. So I became a drug dealer. Then I became a violent individual that ended up going to prison at the age of 16. And I'm saying that to say that the help is needed in our community. The help is needed inside of our households. The help is needed for every individual that comes to my office that we put, or we help sign up for Medicaid, that we help sign up for food stamps, that we may help eventually get a voucher. And the reason why that I am grateful for you all, but I also encourage you all, I need your push even harder. Because one of the things that I've learned since being in this position for the last 5 years is that our people that end up getting these services, their life expectations sometimes end at where those services say. So if I'm on food stamps and I start to make this amount of money, my people are afraid that they're gonna lose their food stamps, right? If I get a job, my people are afraid that they are going to lose their housing. But even before we get there, majority of the individuals that come in my agency don't have a place to live. So they jumping from house to house. Some of them are living in shelters. Some of them, men and women, have a roof over their head because they're basically providing their bodies for it, right? And so, tormented by that. Some of our people are coming from prison, diagnosed, but most of them are undiagnosed, and we have been living in some of the most violent environments that we have ever seen. You can see everything from suicide to murder to bullying to you name it, and racism, right? And so the services that you provide, some of my people had never used a drug in their life, but to cope inside of these institutions, they start getting on medication just to make it through, and then when they get released, they believe they don't need the medication no more, and then we find them out in the community, butt naked, tripping, right? And then we have those that do have been diagnosed and just decided that they ain't like the way that the medication makes them feel, or they don't like how the case manager at the mental health and the substance abuse place that they went to talk to them, right? And so we find our people struggling just to figure out who they are, because they no longer understand who they are because of all the places that they have been. And now when they get released, and I'm telling them, let's talk about your pathway to the middle class, right? And so we had to change how we operate and walk, but we still, our job is to help them successfully enter our community. But my life mission is to save the little Lamont, right? And all of your children, right? Because if I go back to the street, or the clients we serve go back to the street, all of our households are impacted. And so I'm just encouraging you doing some amazing work, but I need you to push a little harder. Consider the medication, right? And if you're trying to figure out, remember what I said, 5,205 people that we served last year, and our fiscal year is from September 30th to October, right? The 1st. If you go in my agency, any day of the week, chances are it's going to be packed with individuals that are struggling to figure out how they want to transform their lives. And the first thing that we're putting in their minds before they even get home is you have to get a job.
Yeah.
You have to find a place to stay. But I'm telling you, if you are a hard sleeper where you snore and you go to prison, you're going to become the lightest sleeper in the world, because your life depends on your ability to wake up when those doors open. So that's trauma, right? And so my people are trying to figure out how to get those things that they need, the job, the place to live. But I need your help in helping my people not to lose that hope where they go back to drug addiction, alcoholism, right? So I need your help to help me, to help them dealing with the mental health that they ain't even recognize that is mental health. I still suffer from it, right? And so with your help, I think that we can help more individuals get to that real pathway to the middle class. And now, real brief, I'm gonna tell you about my team. Amazing team, small team, but the mayor has instructed us to service all returning citizens in the district. And guess what? It is not mandatory. So I'll pack offices because my team cares, and they're going to do everything within their grasp to help our population. So we help with things like birth certificate, ID, learners, if they got tickets, right? Put them in CDL program, pay for real estate program. Once a month we have somebody come in and teach us about investing, right? Because my job is to put them on the pathway to the middle class. But how do we get to the middle class when some of the jobs that we have access to, poverty level, right? And so I have to find new ways to be creative, to help them deal with their mental health, their substance abuse issues, but also keep them looking, because the thing that I learned, if I get them to dwell on the burdens that exist, they'll never see the forest because of that one tree, right? And so part of our job is getting them to recognize that anything is possible. I'm a violent, convicted felon. But I run a government agency now, right? So anything is possible. I just need your hand. I just need your help to help me help that family member that you have, right? Help that neighbor that you have. Help that person that's in your community. And then as I walk away, the last thing I would say to help our communities with mental health, when you pass in a young person, I don't care how harmful, aggressive they look, just grieve, right? Because our kids feel invisible. And when you feel invisible, everybody's a threat to you. And so let's be the adults that our community need. That is one of the first steps, I believe, for our young people, for us to make them visible, and then we can start pouring into them. Okay? Thank you.